Welcome to the mind of Lancescurv, the most creatively profound man in cyberspace.
So let's check back into history, which rewards all research and tells us plainly that before the white man gained entry to the east, he was living in the caves of Europe, a ravenous, eating juniper roots and eating flesh raw, till God sent Moses to civilize him and teach him the law. Then following Marco Polo, an explorer, he gained entry into Asia and Africa. From China he took silk, gunpowder. From India he took jute, manganese, and rum. He raped Africa of her diamonds and her gold. From the Midi, he took barrels of oil, raping, robbing, and murdering everything in his path. The whole black world has tasted of the white man's wrath. So my friend, it's not hard to tell. A white man's heaven is a black man's heaven.
Welcome everyone. Welcome back. I'm back. But for me to say that I'm back means I went somewhere. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm renewed, rejuvenated, and righteously enraged. I say righteously. Awoke Life, R-Bang9 on Instagram. Welcome. Let's go to the chat room here and see who is on NFN. Shaka, Giant Gain in the house. Boy, the bell rang and you came out swinging. You're right. I started a little early. I'm glad to see you all here. And we're trying something a little new or something a little old school, which brings back the feel of the good old days, which these are the good old days. Regardless as to what is going on in the world, regardless as to what they broadcast over the news at night, trying to imprint certain things in your mind, which we know there are things happening. I'm not going to say to put your head in the sand. I would never say that. But we have to control our mind, because like they say, victory is impossible when your mind isn't right, or victory is impossible when your mind ain't right, whichever way you want to say it. Now, I want to read off a few points that I wrote down just to punctuate it and give some good information instead of a rant that nobody really feels. Want to put a little information out there. And while I read, I'm just going to cover up this aging face with a banner. Don't forget your April 8th is my birthday. You can just send me a little email or something. You know what I mean? Right? I'm getting up there. 61 years old. Whoa. But like Mike Tyson said before, and like I continue to say, that we are energy. It's man who meters off, and we tell ourselves that we should be this age. So where's the aches and pains? I should be feeling it. I should be slowing down because I am this age. Who told you that? You know what I think about, and before I read, there was an old white man who I'm not sure who was playing, but this old white man had to be in his 80s, and he was the one that ran across the tennis court when the balls would hit the net and fall. He'd run across. I don't know if you ever saw him, but they made a big fuss about him in a good way. Look at him at this age, at that age then, doing something that technically most people would not accept because they're old. No, my best days are ahead of me. And the fire grows inside of me even more so. Every day, just keep throwing punches. Now, I want to say, for those who didn't know, I was off for a while because there were some cables in the Red Sea that were sliced somehow, and there was no internet, from what I'm hearing, to all of Africa or most of Africa. And it was crazy. I thought it was me. I said, hey, I pay my bills. What's going on? I pay for my internet. I pay for my lights. I pay for all of this. The lights didn't go out, but we did have some power outages that was unrelated. But it was strange. And to that, I was going to do something separate, but all kind of other topics came up in my mind. I may still talk about it, but I want to say this. Was that by chance? People say, well, you're a conspiracy theorist. You think, listen, growing up as a black man in America, if you're not a little bit of a conspiracy theorist and have a little extra dose of paranoia in your psyche, there's something wrong with you. I'm not saying it has to eat you up. I'm not saying it has to, okay, we have Sam 24. I'm not saying, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I'm acknowledging you. Mars Mentality just entered on Instagram. So what I mean to say is that with the things that happen to us and never get explained, you know, I was speaking earlier about a few of the missing people in the world. They had some story. There's always something every day about missing children, missing adults. And we mentioned the missing women, American women in the Gambia. But I say, have we forgotten 10,000 girls were missing in the Washington, D.C. area and surrounding area at one point? Are we bombarded with so much information through social media, getting information fast? And not only that, but them giving us what they want us to have. There's always something on the menu that we don't know about in general, you see? Let me see here. Giant gain. I wonder if it was at the same time AT&T phone system went down in the US. Wow. Could be. And there was a situation where YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, I think, in the United States went down. Jay Harden, welcome, 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 welcome. Ooh, Lord, am my trouble so hard? Inside joke, y'all. Don't nobody know my troubles but God. If we don't wake up, I'm not saying to wake up, I'm saying if we don't wake up, there's going to be a whole lot of us singing that song. We're going to go back to the days of the Negro spirituals. Afraid of living and scared of dying, 'cause old man Ribber, he just keeps rolling along. We're going to go back to them days. There was something on Instagram, right? Mars Mentality. Yeah. Good afternoon. You know it. Where there was a South African team, some sports, right? And they were getting off of either a bus or a plane or something. And they were all white, right? And some people were outraged. Look at this, a South African, whatever team it was, they were all white, blonde hair, and white, South African. And somebody didn't agree with that. They said, wait, this is something wrong here. And the amount of us that said how, it's wonderful that we can have a mixture of so many. But you're in poverty, you're oppressed, and they're living good for the most part. But you're okay with that. You're okay with that. I'm not saying I hate anybody because of the color of their skin. All I'm saying is that wake up and understand what's going on. And I want to just jump into it. I want to read off a few things, and then we're going to rant. So if you leave before, don't say, well, I'm sure it was kind of corny. He was reading stuff. We're going to rant. That's what we're going to do. We're going to rant. I'm going to spank some black people today, too. And you're going to like it. No, we ain't no S&M or nothing like that. I'm just saying, you're going to like it. You know, when you're in trouble, you do something wrong, and you're waiting for it. And you're like, let's just get this over with. I'm going to get this whipping now. It may not be a whole 2 hours, maybe just a little hour or so, but we don't know. But, you know, so the sound is coming through. I just want to check, make sure the sound on both sides are coming through. I am Darkness. Welcome on Instagram. Gemini Vision 2. Welcome. Now, while I'm reading this, I may not acknowledge the names, but we're here. So we blank out here. Boom, put the banner up. Now take these scrolly words away, and I'll be back. At least I can make ugly faces over here while I read and not get interrupted. Okay, so I'm going to read this thing. Okay, I'm going to open the comment section over here. I'm glad to be here. We're going to rock like this 5 nights a week, but I have more content coming every day the same way, but I'm going to restructure everything. But there will be stuff on the weekend too, other places. I'm not going to give it all out in one place. Then you won't see the other stuff. But anyway, victory is impossible when your mind isn't right. In every facet of life, from personal endeavors to community interactions, the state of one's mind plays a pivotal role in achieving success or salvaging what's important. Whether it's striving for victory on the track, landing a new job, repairing a damaged relationship, or fostering a thriving community, the condition of one's mind profoundly influences outcomes. Here's why having the right mindset is essential across various categories of life. Number 1, personal goals. Achieving personal milestones such as fitness targets or educational pursuits requires mental resilience and clarity. Without the right mindset, distractions and self-doubt can derail progress. Number 2, professional success. Securing career advancements or entrepreneurial success demands focus, determination, and confidence. A negative mindset can hinder productivity, innovation, and networking opportunities. Number 3, interpersonal relationships. Maintaining healthy relationships with family, friends, and colleagues necessitates empathy, communication, and compromise. When the mind is clouded by negativity or misunderstandings, conflicts escalate and connections fray. Number 4, community engagement. Building strong, cohesive communities relies on collective efforts and shared values. Disunity, apathy, or disregard for social responsibilities can lead to stagnation or decay within neighborhoods or broader societal structures. Number 5, environmental stewardship. Preserving the environment and ensuring sustainable practices requires mindfulness, accountability, and proactive engagement. Neglect or indifference toward environmental concerns can lead to ecological degradation and harm future generations. Number 6, cultural harmony. Fostering cultural understanding, diversity, and inclusivity enriches societal fabric and promotes harmony. Prejudice, ignorance, or closed-mindedness impedes progress towards a more tolerant and equitable society. Number 7, health and fitness. Prioritizing physical and mental well-being involves adopting positive habits, seeking support, and embracing self-care practices. Neglecting mental health or succumbing to harmful behaviors jeopardizes overall wellness and quality of life. Economic stability. Promoting economic prosperity and financial security requires prudent decision-making, adaptability, and long-term planning. Irresponsible spending, short-sighted policies, or lack of financial literacy can lead to financial instability and inequality. Educational attainment. Attaining academic success and fostering lifelong learning entails curiosity, perseverance, and a growth mindset. Negative beliefs about one's abilities or disengagement from learning opportunities inhibit personal development and societal progress. Global cooperation. Addressing complex global challenges such as poverty, conflict, and climate change demands collaboration, empathy, and innovative solutions. Nationalism, isolationism, or distrust hinder international cooperation and impede progress towards a more sustainable and equitable world. In essence, Achieving victory in any aspect of life, whether personal, professional, or communal, requires a mindset aligned with clarity, positivity, and purpose. By recognizing the profound influence of our thoughts and attitudes, we can empower ourselves and our communities to overcome obstacles, pursue meaningful goals, and cultivate a brighter future for all. Now, don't that sound nice? Don't that sound nice? Gadsden Gallery, join. Oh man, I got to get you on this show. Now we go back to the 70s. I'm not going to say how, right? Wow, Dutch Master's in, but Gadsden Gallery on Instagram. Follow her, y'all. Follow her. Tell her Lancescurv sent you. We go back. You and me go a long way back. Yeah. Wow. But anyway, that's the way we should be living. We should elevate ourselves, elevate our thinking. But so many of us are stuck. So many of us, as we all know, are negative. They're isolated. Some have reason to be away from certain entities and energies. I understand that because I'm isolated from a whole lot of negative energies out here and will seek to continue to do so in this thing called spiritual warfare. But we off the chain, y'all. Let me get on my rant. You put on my rant face. Indigo Goddess, welcome on in. Yes, we do. Can I tell him? Can I tell him, Gadsden Gallery? Not everything, but just, can I? Before I start? Just a Y or an N. If it's an N, it's cool. Nothing, Look, I can say it. We went to school together, right? We were in junior high school together, way back in the 70s. No, I knew you were going to say yes. And Laura, the name is out. I'm sorry. Gadsden Gallery. Didn't mean to do that. I just had a flashback. When you think back on many of the students, classmates that you have, there's some that are always a little more mature and a whole lot more mature than others. And that was Gadsden Gallery. And we go back at the root and back in Queens, junior high school, 226. Wow. The teachers we've had, Mr. Witz, Mr. Rosenberg, Mr. Wilson, Miss Alex. No, that was in elementary school. I'm getting blurred here, right? But there's a whole lot of teachers that are there, and Mr. Krieger in the gym class and all of those things. Now, listen, I need you to do me a favor. Yeah, I'm calling you out in the good way because it's all good anyway. You have to confirm with me because people, and I'm going to get on with the rant because I'm having fun here. You got to confirm not with me, I know it. Maybe you may not remember, right? I think it was 1977, going into 78, or because we were in a special program at our junior high school, which other places call middle school. We had 3 years as opposed to 2. We had 7th, 8th, and 9th. Remember? 901 SP, or whatever they called it. Virgil I. Grissom Junior High, right there on Rockaway Boulevard, a couple blocks down from Lefferts Boulevard. It's freaking me out that you're here. I mean, you've been on shows before, and I really don't broadcast a lot on Instagram, but every show I do now, since I'm on that program, I can go across the board, rig everything up. I'm figuring out how to go on TikTok with everything at the same time. I can go on TikTok by myself with the phone and everything, but I want to do everything just. So that's my lesson for the week that I have to learn. But I told people I did 1,630 sit-ups. I think it was in 77. And they're like, no, you didn't do all that. I think the year before I did 75. I don't know if you remember that when I did that one, right? But Laura, I'm not saying I'm proud of you, like I'm over you or something like that, but you validate me. The things you have done in life, the mindset you have and had and always will have. You're an exceptional human being, and I love you very much. We haven't had a chance. Life, I'm out in Africa right now. We're building this house and everything, but I'll walk with you, just like I'll walk with everybody else that we've been in connection with and beyond. right? But it's nice that in 2024, with so many of us who have fallen by the wayside because of negative things and negative practices and lifestyles and just health issues and whatever, just not forgotten, but just they fall off the grid and they live in their life. It's nice to be able to say to someone, hey, remember when? And they reflect back so much about you. Now, names are coming to my head. Donald Womble, Michael Rainey, like Guy Glanick, remember him? It's just so many names. You know, Mary, you know. You want to say a last name, right? But it's nice because there's not a day that my mind doesn't go through each of my years of my life. My brain may be a little weird. Remember Mr. Witz? Leave it alone. He was crazy. But anyway, he was a nice guy. He was touched. Every year, I scan my life because the older we get, and I don't mean older like we're old, but the more we ascend in the chronological age because we are energy, that I learn things from things that happened in the past and different proximities that I've had because I'm a little wiser now, right? So when I go back to the 60s that I can remember in single digit ages, I'm a little different that way. And coming on up, I say, man, this is why that happened, or this is why this affected me that way, or because I know myself more. I've test driven my life 1 month short of 61 years. So I know myself better now to go back and say, this is why this happened, and this is why I had that reaction, right? But I'm going to slip on in. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Right. We are connected on many levels. All are not ready for truth, but that doesn't mean it should not be told. Yes. Gifted and talented program. That's right. And that you are. I don't know how I got in there. But yeah, victory is impossible when your mind isn't right. You know, a lot of us don't even know what we want. So how are you going to get the victory? A lot of us haven't gone inside of ourselves to say, this is my goal. How are you going to wander about the earth and not know? How are you going to go to a party, a restaurant, or a social gathering, a definitive place, but you have no directions? How's that going to happen? You're just going to drive out and we're going to keep on driving until we figure out that we're going to end up at this place? What's up with that? You know, I see on the side of me is jumping. Renee Harris, Denise, welcome on in. Thank you for being here. Make sure to subscribe or follow on the Instagram and also on this new YouTube channel. And I had a conference line that explained what happened to the old channel. Those videos are all private for some reason, a hijacked channel, right? And I will speak on that, maybe a little more public, but it's nothing to get upset about. Now, why is it in front of my light there's a bug flying around? I'm gonna have to just knock him out the way because he just won't sit still. I don't want to land it in my eye. Also, all of my audio content, minus a few months, which I'm filling in now, you'll find it all on SoundCloud. Now, I had killed off SoundCloud in November last year. So a lot of my video, the audio from the video wasn't there. So I have to fill that in. And going back as far as 2014, 2012, 13, there's a couple of episodes I have to put in there. But most of the stuff you'll see, you just won't see the visuals. And that's the way of me holding on to these audios. And I'm going to do that with this one also. We're also on Rumble, Twitter, X, what else? LinkedIn, Twitch. Put it there anyway. Somebody might see us, right? But I've learned and I've known all of my life that in order to have some type of victory, we don't mean something competitive with other people, but the victory of ascending, the victory of going higher, the victory of conquering yourself. Because if you don't conquer yourself, you ain't conquering nothing out in the world. You got to conquer yourself. Because for many of us, we are our own worst enemies. I'm going to put this chat room up on that I can see. Starseed Oracle, welcome on in. St. Clay, yes. Indigo King in the house. I promise to be a little more regular with the shows now. I'm going to set a regular time, regular schedule. I'm doing a lot. There's a lot of progress being made. I'm very happy about that. It's a dream come true. And that will enable me to do more creative type work and the artwork. Oh, I can't wait to get back into that, right? So many of us get very upset with ourselves and oftentimes with other people when we don't reach the goals that we thought we had for ourselves. Well, how did you get there and I didn't get it? And in the world today, to me, let me just say something. It's like we're really off. Like they're spraying something in the sky or something. The way we're overreacting. And I'm going to tell you, the way social media is and has our minds, I can't say it enough. I say it every show. Well, Lance, you on there every day. What you mean? Listen, I ain't crazy. I ain't crazy. It doesn't have me crazy. And those of us who are here, we're not crazy. We know how to strain and filter things out. But when you really look at it, it has us really, and I say us, but most of us as human beings, HUE-MAN, some of the humankind, most of the humankind, and most of our youth. Our youth, they're losing it. I got youth in my extended family that are off the chain, that have great sense, but they're losing it. Between the food and the chemicals and how are we going to have the victory as a people of ascending when our minds are not right? Our minds ain't right. How are we going to get to the destination of that social gathering, that party, or that event if we have no directions to know how to get there? We're just going through life, the basic functions, eating, sleeping, going to the bathroom, number 1 or 2, or whatever it is you do. And I'll throw in there the relentless pursuit of random orgasms, using someone as a glorified friction provider, and you don't even know them. And social media amps all of these things up. There was a study done many years ago. That's right. That's right. That's right, Indigo. That's the best way to do it. And I'm going to somehow, some way share some more personal stuff. I'm going to pick and make a little private little thing because the progress is just, I'm so happy that way. Nothing can take that happiness away. Work very hard to get to something and you get there. All the while, people telling you, are you sure? Do you have the money? Do you think you can make? Well, what about this? And what about that? Get away from me. Dropping that negativity on me. I got a victory to achieve, and I'm keeping my mind right. But you ain't going to keep your mind right when you just aimlessly thumbing up, inflicting this energy on yourself, and you look around and 15 minutes pass by and you still in the bed on a Facebook thread or just a timeline and just watching what, oh, I see what kind of car is that behind them? Oh, hey, they must have got a new car. What? When I open my eyes, I know what my goals are for that day. Right now, for me, it is 7:14 p.m. For the East Coast. It's got to be 3:14 and the sun is bright and out if it's a sunny day. I know what it is I intend to do. It's almost like they shot off that shotgun, that little blank pistol, not shotgun, but pistol. On your mark, get set, go. I'm not racing the people beside me, behind me, around me. I'm not thinking about them. I'm thinking about myself and conquering myself and defeating myself and making a personal best for myself. Too many people are so caught up in watching what the next person's doing. Sure, you can go on YouTube and learn how to do maybe some landscaping. You watch to learn and incorporate what it is that you do in your style. When I come to New York, I'm going to go to the Gadsden Gallery. And even though her type of artwork may be a little different, I could still absorb the energy, the righteous energy that was put into it. Renee, yeah, I called you out already, Renee Harris. Chrissy, 847, Manifest Life. I Manifest Life. Welcome on in. Quick Cut Carrie, or Carl. Right, good. Anointed 27, welcome on in. I'm going to drop the link, well, to the YouTube channel, which is Scurvin or Lancescurv, but I put Scurvin. Long story. Weird stuff happening with me and the targeting and stuff. And people want to say, oh, yeah, you just paranoid. But at the same time, I have to say, and this is off topic, that when certain things happen to you, with you, around you, on you, but it involves you, you know, sometimes you have to take that punch. But that's the very thing that pushes you into a whole new atmosphere, a whole new stratosphere. Like I always say, you got the spaceship and you got the rockets attached to it. And those rockets are propelling, it's pushing through. The spaceship can't do it on its own. But those rockets are pushing, goes higher, breaks through. And what do the rockets do? They fall back. They did their job. So there are many things that I have done that are gone and fell back. I found out within a few days afterward, it did its job. And if everything goes as it should, by year's end, it's going to be unbelievable. Because, you know, I got a lot of stories. I was always righteously nosy as a young man. I wanted to go see what's going on, whatever. Never did drugs, crime, all that stuff. Would never do that to my mind. But I have a lot of stories. But this story here, this not be blessing, I'll say blessing, you're blessed. This goes beyond. And it's something that can never be reversed. So I understand, you know, it's like you have a favorite car, vehicle that you wanted for the longest time, and you got it. Then you drive it. It's a specialty vehicle, something, it's not about money, but it's something you wanted, no matter of course little money. And all of a sudden you park the car, get out, and a truck gets out of control and smashes it to the point where the insurance company said, we got to write this off. You can get another one, but you don't want another one. You wanted that one for the longest time. It was part of you. But then you realize somehow, some way, somebody left you $25 million the next day. It's like, well, what is this? I'm sad about this one little thing, but whoa, I'm not saying I got that kind of money. I'm not saying it's not a money thing. But to me, it is a great victory, you know, and it's a beautiful thing. Empress Kamoon, Nellie Frazier, Neil Frazier. I said Nellie because I didn't see the I. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Everything's good. Man, amazing story. I think I told you, Brother Neil, just say yes or no. If not, I'm going to tell you tonight. But when your mind's not right, you can't stick through the course because you're clogged with so much different energies whispering into your ear. No, do it this way. Do it that way. And yes, there will be people in your life that will suggest some wonderful things. You take it and put it on the shelf. You let them know that. Let them know, listen, there's a lot of suggestions. I can't just take it and run with it. I have to take time and process this thing. I have to take time and digest this thing. I just don't want to run with anything thinking I'm going to get victory when this meal of knowledge and motivation has not been digested right. Do you eat a heavy meal and get up and go running around? No, you get the itis sometime and it makes you sleep. But the bottom line, your body has to take priority on that meal, and most of the blood has to go into your stomach to help digest that meal. You don't want a partially digested meal. It's not what you eat, it's what you absorb. Are we absorbing the food that we eat? Most of us are not. We're walking around with food in our stomach, bloated out from 3 Thanksgivings ago. And you wonder why. If you live in an apartment complex, a condo, and even in a neighborhood with separate houses, everybody else has roaches, but you don't. Because the gas that comes out of your stomach with all that old food in there, the roaches like, yo, we ain't going in that house, man. That's worse than decon. What's coming out of them? Well, a lot of us can't get anywhere because we got a lot of old ideologies in our head. Old things suggested that don't have life or life force. It doesn't have it. you could see, and I noticed something scrolling on the bottom. Do not use scurvmedia@gmail. That is the hijacked Google account that I have. So I got to change that. I got to take that out. Yeah, don't mess with that. You'll never get an answer from me from that one anymore. You know what I mean? It's hijacked. But we spend more time putting quality fluids in our vehicle than we do in our actual bodies. And even more so, what are we putting in our mind? Some of us are so health conscious. We jog, we ride the bikes, we're plant-based, we're this, we're that. And we just as jacked up in the other facets of our life. And we don't even realize it. For those of us who are into health and fitness, and we look at our bodies and our six packs and the shape and the muscle that we have and how we have boundless energy, but yet and still, we have the hate, the slothfulness in certain areas, the jealousies and the negative thinking. And if we can't conquer ourselves with that, how are we going to come together as people to ascend? Again, I am finished telling people, us, to wake up. If you want to stay asleep and stay all in the bed, because that bed, man, you sleep in that bed is good. Is it still good to you? Big Doe in the house. What's up, brother? Beautiful king. Welcome on in. Big Doe. Big Doe. We got to do a little call tomorrow, a little WhatsApp, show you around kind of call tomorrow, anytime. Let me know. Big Doe in the house. Yes. And I ain't going to blow it up. Me and Big Doe, we're brothers from another mother. Big Doe, let me ask you something. I can't find that picture of us with the same car next to each other. I don't know if you had that tucked away somewhere, but if you ever find it, send it to me. That was that was back in 2002, 2001, 2002. 22 years. Brother, man, time is flying by. But like I said, we will never. Some people you just have to let go. Or you keep them to a certain distance. Because what they're about and their energy, and I'm not being judgmental. Treat everybody fair and kind if they do the same for you. But you can't babysit other people's toxicities. You can't babysit their negativity. And you can't. You have to make it roll off. You can't hold on to those things because you'll never get your personal victories. Look how I'm talking. The first time I laid eyes on Big Doe was 2001. 2001. Even if we don't talk every single day, me and Big Doe are very close. He knows a lot about me that the world doesn't even know. He knows a lot of my challenges that I've gone through, don't we? Gadsden Gallery. We go back to the 70s in middle school, junior high school. See, even though we know we're alive and we go about our lives and all of this stuff, the bottom line, we walk with people like a collage. The Big Doe energy is with me. The Gadsden Gallery energy is with me. The songs that we had playing around that time, we didn't say we're playing the songs, but I have my own mental videos, you know? Things that I remember, little moments. Remember, Big Doe, you put the shaving cream on that doorknob? I never forget that. remember you told me, this is going to sound weird, but it makes sense if you knew, because I don't want to blow Big Doe up. Remember you had me check the dude's armpits, man? And I went ahead and do it. What are you talking about? What kind of kinky thing you doing? It was not kinky. It was job related. If you know the jobs that I've done, you know that that was something. But that was a joke. And I went and did it. These are the people we keep close to us, even when we live in different countries, even when, you know, a couple little time goes by, we say, oh, we got to reach out to so-and-so, you know? This is what it's all about. And when you have that kind of energy stored in your mind, the things my father told me, the things my mother told me, the positive things they told me, they're still with me right now. Fads will come and go, but principles never die. You can change the hairstyle and the new rapper comes out and everybody tries to copy them, but the principles never die. You have that classic wardrobe. It may not be the hip thing that's going on, but when the hip thing goes away, the classic stuff comes right on back. You see the brothers wearing the conservative suits from the 50s? They don't look corny now. But those of us who lived through the 70s, show me some of the pictures you had on with bell bottoms and the print shirts and the marshmallows and the afros and everything. You know, it's cool. But those are the ones that you don't really want to show too much. Like, oh man, especially when you have kids. Mommy, daddy, you look funny. So you want to stick with what works. Those principles of conquering yourself. So now, I'm going to say it this way. We're going to get political. We're going to get, look, fair is fair. They say, America, by the founding fathers. There's certain things I won't say because I don't have to preach to the choir. Founding fathers, okay. Certain principles. Okay. Okay, that's what you say. But history reveals something quite different. But there have been people that have been brought over against their will and made to work on stolen land for free to build up this nation to be so mighty that really has a lot of blood on his hands. Now, we know that. We know that. Everybody ain't guilty, but we know that. But we're trying to get it dismissed now. The media, they don't want to acknowledge certain things. Social media, you better not talk about certain things or we're going to get rid of you. That's how it works. Also, Lancescurv.com. Make sure to go there every now and then. I'm going to be doing a lot of writing that's going to be off the chain. It's going to be politically incorrect. I'm going to say what I want to say of what I can't say because I have to tiptoe through the tulips of YouTube. No, I'm not rocking the rainbow, y'all. But we have to be able to speak truth. Because one thing for me, I'm not going to transition. I can't say die because I ain't dying. I'm going to transition. And I'm not going to transition in an emotional, constipated state where you can't vibrate. You can't say ouch if something sticks you. If you see something wrong, you have to shut up about it. That kind of thinking and that kind of way of living makes you sick. That you can't be yourself. There's a bodybuilder, Robbie Robertson, who I had the pleasure of interviewing at the age of 51 on the Lancescurv show. And when I was 15, I met him. I met him in Richmond Hill, Queens, at a basement gym, right? I was 15 years old. I was said to him, it's so funny that, you know, and he remembered that time. But he was in the Vietnam War. And he had a story of when he was laying face down, playing dead, because they were going around and sticking everybody who they shot up and made sure they were dead. Because now if you're laying there like this and you get stuck, oh, you're not dead, boom. So he heard the other side walking around. He didn't know when he was going to get stuck, but at the corner of his eye, he saw that's what they were doing. And he knew so he had to anticipate this thing, not seeing it, but they jammed him in his thigh so many inches deep and pulled it up and they just looked at him. And he had to stand still or lay still face down. Imagine that. That was the one time that happened to him. But what about us through the course of our life who coming up in this system, we learn that there's certain people, not that you hate anybody, but certain things aren't fair. So do we really live in a system of that's fair to us, to all people? No, we don't. Even when you say that, you're wrong. You have to pretend this glossed over reality while you're in pain and you see injustice. But this has always been going on for us. Here's the thing. Yes, I'm back. Let me know if you can hear me. And we're going to put this other banner on. There was a power surge or a power whatever, and it knocked me off. I don't know if I still have a connection with Instagram, but I'm going to kind of block out the visual. The power went off. It was only temporary. They always do that. I'm in the process of getting actual solar, but not just solar, but something I can also use independently for my computer equipment and my audio equipment. I'm going to check on Instagram if I'm still, yes. Oh, great, great. Yes, Gadsden Gallery. Power outage. They blink out sometime. I'm up in the mountains. I'm up in the mountains on the outskirts, way from Accra. So those things do happen, but that's why I'm working on solar. Yes, I'm back. I'm back. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I'm going to continue the show like this. And my laptop, which I have Instagram on, because I have to keep it separate from my desktop. I'm working on my desktop with the main part. That's what went out with the connection. You know what? That told me something. So let me shimmy over here, get my flashlight. Let me cut these other lights off, and I'm just going to lay down. I'm glad I did the reading. And it was nice to see everybody here, which is still here. And let me cut this out. Yeah. Now, if you see or hear anything collapse, that's me. That means I fell and busted my backside. I'm going to look for my battery here, plug it in. So this can continue, and I'll plug this in also. Which I'm not going to be talking that long. Not going to be talking that long. Okay, I got this. And I think I'm good to go. Okay, give me a second, y'all. Up in the mountains, you better have your battery straight. So we'll take care of that. That never happens. Thanks for rocking with me, y'all. Okay. Always got to have a plan B. Up. Almost heard it. It almost happened. I tell you, this air up here is so delicious that as soon as your head hits the pillow, unless you're on a live show, you are out. I'm going to do a whole show on that. I'm going to close this window over here. I tell you, this is scary dark out here. Better have your stuff straight. Wake up in the middle of the night. Yeah, okay, we good. Plug this phone in. That's why I'm not so much into these anal retentive shows that people have, and it's like, oh, today, 11:33, all this. Things happen. Okay, my battery has power. The internet is powered up. I'm good to go. I can do anything I want. We're just going to ramble. We're going to talk. The audio sounds may be a little different because I'm going through the phone. We good. We good. I'm just chilling. Anyway, like I was saying, how are we going to ascend and not always be on the bottom rung? I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of trying to, in my own little way. I'm not trying to be somebody's next Malcolm X. I'm not trying to be somebody's prophet. I'm just, just passionate at certain things because you see, back in the day when Malcolm X was assassinated, I was about a mile away as a young little baby. That happened in May of '65, I believe, or February or May. And I was born in April of '63. So that atmosphere. I was on 152nd Street between Amsterdam and St. Nick, where Convent Avenue begins. I drop names all the time because sometimes there are other people who have the parallel experience. And I will say, now I'm not near the computer now to see who's on Instagram. So if anybody pops in, don't think I'm ignoring you. I'm in a whole different room right now. But there's a sister who popped in and got to get into doing, the shows that we do. And she was like, you said 152nd Street between Amsterdam and St. Nick? She's 2 or 3 years younger than me, but she was on 152nd Street between Amsterdam and Broadway, which on Broadway and 152nd Street, my father had a shop. And it was a dude next door to his shop named Johnny, and she knew Johnny. And I said, you know what? It's not even 6 degrees of separation. We got to know some of the same people. My buddy Star from Star and the Buck Wild show back in the day, you know, we talk. He talks to a lot of people. But he reached out to me one day. I was a big fan of his, and we talked in this reasons why. We did some things together. Come to find out, he was right there on 152nd Street, so you never know. So I like to use this medium as a way to join us together, right? But again, like I was saying, at that time, that is my root. That is why I am the way I am, because we have degraded ourselves as a people overall. We well know the information. We well know the punchlines. We well know the good things to say. Any one of us here in this chat room or watching this show can get up on a stage somewhere and talk the talk. And I know you all are the real thing, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be here. But for the majority of us who have knowledge and know these things, it goes in one ear and comes out the next, because if we were any way better off, it wouldn't be this way in our community. You see, you have other people who care about their community over and above their own personal life. I'm that guy. And I'm tired of seeing what I'm seeing. I'm so sick of it. It hurts me. But I'm done with it. It's like when you have a person in your family or a good friend who they're on drugs, and you rock with them to say, hey, I'm going to stick with you. I'm going to stick with you. And decades go by, and you realize that that thing hollowed out every part of the real soul that they have. And the only thing is the physical that you see in front of you, and the memories they have that they use against you to hit that soul spot, to give them something, give them a little money, and you know what they're going to do with it. And you realize this is not the person anymore that you loved. Long you've been rocking with them to help them, and they've been sucking from you. So this is why now I'm free, because I'm done. Not done with anybody here. I'm not done with the people who are sincere. And my world is not just about black people. No. I rock with everybody if they treat me right. They treat me fair, and they treat themselves right. I'm not going to hate anybody just because whatever I may know their tendencies. I'm not going to come into your house and you have a pit bull and a Rottweiler, a Doberman Pinscher, and just because they hug you up and treat you nice, don't leave the room with me in there with them. They may look at me and say, you look like dinner. We know the nature, so I know to stay away from certain things and situations. But I give you a break. I give you a chance. But I'm tired of giving my own people a chance to realize that they were only no more effective than that cardboard cutout that you see when you walk into the supermarket. You see a famous star. There's a cutout there. They're selling a product, and you know it's not real. But you see it when you walk sideways. You see how thin the cardboard is. This is how thin many of us are. And how thin many of us who are on social media trying to be the next Malcolm X, the next Marcus Garvey, the next this, the next that. And it's just a game for a narcissistic soul. And I know a lot about that. I've been out here for a long time. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've been out here for a long time. I know some of these people. I've said it before. I'm not blowing them up. I might in a private conversation with some of y'all here. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to waste the time. I want to focus on those who are about it in their own way. It doesn't mean you have to do the same thing I do or think the same way I think. But be a person who wants to ascend mentally, spiritually, and physically before we physically ascend on up out of here. I don't want it to be a narrow-minded thing for me where that's all I talked about, because you know what? This is what got me when I think about it. I've been thinking about this a whole lot. Malcolm X, and this is not about money. I'm not trying to solicit money from anybody, okay? Support if you want. But honestly, this is not about that. I'm saying this because it proves a point on how I should do myself a little different out here in these social media streets. Listen, Malcolm X died broke. Malcolm X died broke. Young girls he had, a supportive, loving, beautiful wife, beautiful children. He spent many hours away from them. He sacrificed his family life that he could have said, well, you know, I'll do a little something here, but I'm not going all out like this and risking my life. Malcolm X died broke. Yet everybody's wearing, especially back in the 90s when they had the Malcolm X movie come out, X hats, X shirts. Black History Month, Malcolm X. But what would Malcolm X think if he returned? What would he think? How would he feel if he returned? How? After all he sacrificed and done, how would he feel? I just popped on and I'm on my phone. I'm not going to be touching the buttons on the phone as much because it's too sensitive and it may knock me right on off the show for good. But Alicia, welcome on in. Kofi, welcome on in. I have your email. I'm going to respond to it. It's been a couple days and it kind of slipped past me because I get a lot of spam. I have a lot of different email addresses, so I'm not ignoring you. But how would Malcolm X feel? For those who understood the latter day ascension of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., you know, we have the two ways of thinking. Oh, I'm more with Malcolm X, but you know, if Martin had lived a couple of years more, you would have seen the changes that he was going through in a positive way. How would they feel? So for me, being passionate about sharing my little experiences, I'm not saying I'm some profound, whatever. You know, if it said that at the beginning, the most profound, you know, we got to amp it up a little bit, but I'm just a regular dude, man. I'm a regular blue-collar dude who has a big mouth, likes to talk because I have a lot to say. And I remember doing the shows for 5 and 6 hours and 8 hours. The longest show I ever did was 14 hours, you know. I could tell you another show, another time, how I pulled that off. I was a technological whiz at one time. I still am, but things have grown now. But is it worth investing all that time to talk and try to convince of people who are into sport and play and hedonistic practices? Oh no, I love my hedonistic practices behind closed doors, just like anybody else. What I'm saying is that you just can't live a life of pursuing pleasure and that's it. You can't do it. You won't grow. You can't stay in a 24-hour perpetual comfort zone. You can't do it. You will get weak. You will get soft. You will not grow. You need to be uncomfortable in order to grow. Look, you can retire at home at night and come to your nice cushiony bed and pillows and the luxuries you have. If you worked hard for it, I have no problem with that. But if you want to grow, you've got to come out of that mindset. What was it Marvin Hagler, former middleweight champion of the world, very disciplined man? He even said it. When you're sleeping on silk sheets, it's harder to get up at 4 a.m. and go running and start your training as a fighter. When you had nothing, it was easier to do so because you kept yourself in that hard mentality. And like I always say, especially for fighters, when you see them get those 20 and 25 million and 50 million paydays for that one fight, $50 million, they earned it when they weren't known. They earned it when it was no guarantee. They earned it because they stuck it through. There were so many great fighters that were better than the ones that you see, but things happen and they never made it. So as far as we've made it in this life, we got to give thanks to the Creator. And we got to pat ourselves on the shoulder also, because if we didn't have a mind that was kept proper and on point and on course, we would never see the victories that we have today in our lives, large and small. And that's a fact. Let's not forget that no matter how rough things get, that we have a lot going for us, even for that level that we see. Yeah, we want to go to different levels. We want to go higher. I want to go higher. I don't want to get caught up in the things that won't make me better. I've never been that flamboyant person. I love to draw. I love to create. That is my way of getting high. That is what brings me satisfaction. I like nice things. I like nice cars and nice homes and different things. I like those things. But I look at it like a person that may be terminally ill, that may not be here too long. I'm seeing you now, but you might not be here tomorrow. So I'm watching these things around me that bedazzle most people as a thing of the past. I say, you know what? I remember those old Nissan Maximas from 85, 86, 87 up in New York that the drug dealers were buying, the little duckbill version. And they were zipping around, hitting the brakes, driving fast. Where are they now? Can you find one? If you did, do you want one? I remember that. I remember back in, was it 89 or 90, when they redesigned the Maxima. And they had that commercial of it going so fast you could hardly see it. And people were like, oh, that's a bad car. I want to get one. Where is it now? See, whatever I do with the rest of my life, I want it to last. I want it to be effective. I don't want to be a fad. I don't want it to be, well, he's here and he's gone. Now, we're all going to go to the next level, or whatever level that our life practices have brought to us. But I don't want to go after the frivolous things. So when we had that cable, that underwater international cable in the Red Sea, get slashed or cut somehow, which I don't think is by chance, in all of Africa, for 3 days, they say, I think it's more like 5. I didn't freak out. When the hackers hacked my computer and shut down my email account, which shut down the old channel, I wasn't freaking out. I was annoyed, but I knew that time was coming. Right? I looked on my website. My videos are still embedded, but they say video is private. Didn't have any community strikes or anything. I'm still in negotiations with them, but they're not answering me as fast. I knew that was a hit. I've been hit before. But that showed me how I have to hunker down, a growing experience. But out of all of those years of doing that, I got that phone call that many of you would not believe that I'm looking forward to toward the end of the year. Something great is happening. So I realized the reason why I was noticed is because of the work that I've been doing all of the years. And this ascension, man, you're going to swear I'm lying till you see it for yourself. So this is how life is. So the things that we're pursuing, is it really going to last? Is it really something important? That alone calmed me down. Certain things you're prepared for. Malcolm X said he knows that they're coming after him. Wherever he goes, they follow him. They firebombed his home in Elmhurst, Queens, and his children and wife were there. I'm personally being attacked on so many other fronts in an attempt to break my heart and to hurt me. And I understand what it is. Not me personally in this situation. And I won't say too much about it. I'll do a conference call on it. But it's also a very much spiritual warfare going on. Very much so. I'm not talking anything churchified. I'm not talking anything about no religion. It is what it is. And I'm still going to have joy in my life and always find a way to realize how gifted you are. And whatever's happening now in your life, see, you could be going through great victories on one side and have something else go on that really tries to take away your joy. And that's one thing. The joy you have, whether it's large or small, you hold on to it and you never let it go. That's right, Kofi. Through darkness always comes a light. Starseed Oracle, material don't last. Exactly. So when I'm out here now, right? What do? I gave away 95% of my clothes before I even came to Ghana. The stuff I gave away to the homeless right there on Terry Street in downtown Orlando, where they have the coalition, because I used to drive that 21 bus, route for many, many years. Some of the stuff still had tags on it. I still got my main stuff now. But now when I walk out, I slip on my Crocs, some shorts, t-shirt, and a little jewelry on. I'm free. That world they want to put on us to keep us blinded and to keep our mind not right is off of me. Now, I must admit, it's here also. That mindset is here also. I have to go to America or the UK because it's better there. You make more money, but you spend more money. You got more stress. I know it. Not because, I was so stressed when I was there, because I was brought up in that atmosphere of New York City and moved around to different places. So you don't know what you're feeling. That's normalcy for you. But when I came out of that and this stuff started falling off of me, I'm like, wait a second. I was walking around with, and I'm not going to say stressed, like I'm explode. No, I handled everything so cool. And I say to myself, I don't need that in my life. I don't want that. Where every moment is measured and something's hanging over you. If it's not something on a job, it's something in the street. It's something you see on the news. It's you get a check for $2,000. I'm just making this up now. Unexpectedly, like, whoa. You kind of expected it, but you didn't know it was going to come that fast, but you get it. So it's kind of unexpected. And you're like, man, I can use this. $2,000. And by the time you get home, you put that check in the bank and you check your email and you check the bank. Yes, I got the $2,000 in my account. Not that you're looking to spend frivolously, but there's certain things you wanted that were kind of important that you had to keep putting off. And now you're going to get it. Maybe it's paying off a few bills that you need to knock off fast, the credit cards, whatever. And then you check your email. And here comes a bill for $2,015. $15 over what you got. It's a tease. It's like the Twilight Zone. It always happens. Who decides what minimum wage is or what the wages are you get that just never seem to be enough? You get paid and you realize that you're the middleman between work and the bills that you get. The more you sacrifice, you can find yourself in a better place. But the more money we make, we always upgrade unnecessarily, and we do it to ourselves. Bombarded by commercials all over the place. Don't you know, and I can't give you the exact amount of numbers, but a study was done. And they said in the late 60s, the approximate amount of commercials on TV advertising products, in the newspapers with ads, on the radio. We didn't have as much things attacking our brains as we do now, but they said it was so many times over in the year 2024.
And our brains are inundated with all of these commercials for food, for cars, for jewelry, status. Upgrade your home. Get a new car. Trade in this one. You didn't even finish paying for it yet. A different mind we have. Our consciousness is attacked. We're wrestling with that. We want more than what we need. I want. I saw this man at the red light. He had this nice Jaguar. I want one of those. You with your woman, you see the next one. Oh man, I want her. She could be hell on wheels undercover looking good. I just want to say off topic, be careful what mate you choose. Because like the saying I read the other day, you choose, well, it was saying you choose your woman because it was speaking about a man. But I'll just rearrange it and say, when you choose your mate, you choose your destiny. You choose a jacked up mate who seems to be good in the beginning, it can ruin your life. You can be gone from them decades after, they still try to do it. Be very careful because everybody's mind is not right. But like I say, you look at what's going on in the world now. Joe Biden calls them the newcomers. I don't hate any human being. But this political thing that we adore so much and we feel is so effective, what the heck is happening in America? You got veterans. Let me not even just say black people, right? You got black people, you got veterans, you got others who have contributed, and those overall, no matter what your race, to be honest, paying taxes, doing everything right, walking the straight and narrow. And when it's time for you to be in need of certain services that are supposed to be there for you, they give you a hard time. Yeah, giant game, commercial selling medications like timeshares. For real. For real. They put some nice music and they tell you if you have pain or you're dealing with this issue, take this medication. Everything's so rosy and glowing, showing the couples riding next to each other on bikes, on a trail, in the park. Everything's so nice. And at the end, you hear a voice speaking so fast, just like that man at the auction. Twice, three times, go, sold. And you don't hear nothing else. They're speaking this stuff so fast within 10 seconds. And they're telling you the side effects. And you hear some of them. Diarrhea, headaches, loose bowels, death. What? I'm not dead. I'll deal with the pain. I don't want to take nothing to run away from pain and go die. Because it happens. It has happened to a very dear friend of mine that I knew from back in the 80s. When I was a little wild, it was one of them situations. As mature adults, we kept in contact. We rediscovered each other, and it was a whole different vibe. Let's just put it that way. And she was asking me questions about Florida because she was going to relocate with her husband and stuff like that. Whatever. And I'm sitting there. Here's the funny part. We're communicating on Facebook. I couldn't even tell you the exact year. This must have been like 10 years ago. Maybe 10 years ago. Maybe 8, maybe 10. After a while, it gets to be a blur. And she was telling me that we ended the conversation. But I left my computer on. And I left the Facebook on. I don't have nothing to hide on my computer. And the conversation we had on Facebook was down in the lower right-hand corner, and it was still open. And I left it. Went back. I'm always on the computer. The computer was over like 3 days or something. On the second day, I get a call from a mutual friend let me know that my friend passed away. And I'm freaking out. Not freaking out visibly, but within. Because I'm looking at, when I got the news, the conversation that was right there. And I couldn't help it. I typed in there, stop playing with me. Please stop playing with me. Don't play like that. And never got a response. I knew the person that called me was reputable. They wouldn't lie. But that was my way of reacting. We all know people that we talk to on social media that are here today and gone tomorrow. Get your mind right. And we think of their dreams and aspirations that are never realized because of maybe something they were struggling with, even if it's complacency or just putting stuff off all the time or some demon they were battling. But most of us are not going to get our mind right. And there are things happening to us in the world right now that's going to keep us in that place as time moves on. There is no, and I don't mean to say there is no tomorrow. Don't get me wrong. There is always tomorrow. But we should not think that no more. We should think we need to move forward with what we have to do in this life today. 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 I'm not thinking about, I am thinking about it, right? Why am I doing the projects and things to build this house the way I'm doing, right? Of course. What I mean is we need to have a sense of urgency in everything that we do. Nothing should be put off. We may leave on up out of here before we reach it, but we need to be in the mindset of going after it. I'm not by the other computer, so I don't know if gaps and galleries there, but one artist to another. We should be reaching for the next creation, the next goal. And the artist who was in his mid-80s, who had his drawing table up, he was sketching something, and he had some kind of seizure, some type of attack that took him out of here. And you could see how, to the very end, he held the paper, the pencil on the paper, and as he fell off the stool, the line was very pronounced, but he held on to it until the line just went away. That's how you're supposed to go on about it here. Always have that thing next up on bat that you're striving for. Now, I can tell you what I'm doing now. I can tell you what I did today. What I had happy day with those who are helping me to reach my goals in this place that I live in, my home. I can tell you what the goals are tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. So there's never no, oh, I don't know it. Like I said in the beginning of the show, you're not going to get to the destination if you are driving aimlessly. You see, you must have a plan, even if you have to upgrade it. But see, the problem with us as Black people, we don't have no damn plan. You trust in this government. You are the president of your life. You don't have to re-elect yourself. You stuck with yourself as your own personal president. And if you make the bad decisions, you can't blame anybody else but yourself. We know what the system is all about. It's being shoved in your face right now. It's being shoved in your face right now. While we fight on who's FBA, on who's indigenous, on who's ADOS, on who's Pan-Africanist, or well, I'm Cuban and Puerto Rican, Black as anything else, but you claiming a nationality. Like I said, you got a lot of Chinese people that live in Jamaica. You got a lot of Chinese people who were born in Jamaica. who speak with a Jamaican accent better than most black Jamaicans. You talk to them on the phone and you go to meet them for some business. You look at, well, who's this Chinese person? That ain't the person. That's them. But what? They're Chinese. They live in Jamaica, but they're Chinese. You can go to Europe all you want. I'm not against you for traveling up there. I know people who travel, and that's all they're going to travel to, European countries. We went to the Vatican. It was just so beautiful, such a moving experience, while your history is buried below in those libraries of hidden books. And you love them so much, and they're going to hide who you are. Miss me with that. We want to gravitate toward everything else but ourselves, because we are conquered mentally. We are. And we won't get with the program of conquering ourselves. We let somebody else conquer us in our mind, and it's rendered us ineffective. And we're getting up in years, and many of us have more behind us than we do ahead of us, although we should always be thinking ahead. You have a lot of memories now, much more. A lot of us don't want to hear that. They're stuck like a broken record. Many may not remember a broken record, or a record with a scratch on it. But over and over and over and over, it will play because of the wax from your fingers or the oil from the oily potato chips you were eating, and you held the record on the groove and it got dirty, and now you put the needle in there and it won't play past that point. That's why you have to hold the records on the edge. We don't hold ourselves right. We don't treat ourselves right. How you going to put garbage in your mind and expect to ascend to the highest of all heights? I'm high octane. I'm high performance. You are made to be that. Walking on 2 feet, balancing yourself. You got eyeballs. You can see things for those who can see. You can smell. You can touch. You can think. You can plan. And we're not going anywhere. But in this system, there are those who are being brought in. And how do you feel now? They don't care about you. You can whine about reparations all you want. They're giving your reparations away to somebody else. And again, I don't hate anybody, but fair is fair. We don't have money for reparations, but we can bring people in, call them the newcomers, give them stipends, EBT cards, health care, places to live. Some got cars. You on the bus stop and some joker just, and now I hear, what was the state? Now they have Second Amendment rights. Some are made to be law enforcement. And the babies they having are going to be American babies, so you can't tell them anything. See, many of us were thinking that they've tried everything to wipe us out. They've even gone as far as taking AK-47s and semi-automatic machine guns in huge crates. This is not just something I heard on YouTube or Instagram. People have called me and told me this stuff for years. Being on social media and being trusted somewhat, I'm not going to tell you information if you don't want me to, but if you tell me and you say, listen, Lance, I want you to share this with everybody, I'll do it. Or you say, listen, I'm telling you this, but I can't have this get out, because if it gets out, they're going to know it's me, and they're going to come for me. Been out here a long time. I have a trust from people before the internet got into my life. Before I started interacting this way. I realized my chronological age. I realized how many worlds I've traveled through and how many people I've met and rubbed shoulders with and had communication with and whatever. I understand all of that. There's certain things I won't repeat out of respect to people sharing things with me. But you thought they're going to continue to shoot us? Yes, they'll do that. You thought they'll continue to have our communities built near toxic dumps? Yeah, they're going to continue to do that. They're going to continue to give us subpar education. We should have a thirst for learning so much that it don't matter what they want to teach us in their curriculum. How many of us have learned more from Instagram and Facebook and YouTube? See, it's got its good sides than we did when we went to school. When I was in junior high school, 226, and they taught us history. They taught us the history that they wanted us to know. Peaceful Pulley, welcome on in. S. Reese, welcome on in. You see that? But Reese said one state has passed something for them to be able to carry guns. Isn't the handwriting on the wall? Why are they doing this? Are you really asking why? See, they ain't gonna drop. See, they can't black Wall Street us because we everywhere. How is it that AIDS back in 79 when it was Kaposi sarcoma, but in the early 80s, it was a gay white male disease. I remember being in the village, going to some of my favorite restaurants in Greenwich Village, and seeing these white men with these sucked in faces. Their eyes were wide open. They were flaring their eyes because their faces were like a skull. They dropped dead quick of medication. I didn't know them, but I knew of some because of the gyms that I was going to, working out, and I heard about this thing. I had membership in several gyms all over the city. My main one was Zen's Gym on St. Nicholas Avenue in Ridgewood, Queens. And I also had a free membership to a gym called the Natural Physique Center, right? And that was on 4th Avenue and 11th Street. People say, ain't no 4th Avenue in Manhattan. Yes, it is, but below Union Square, 14th Street, it ends right there. For your information. A gentleman by the name of Bob Fuchs owned that gym, and he was friends with the one who owned my main gym. And when I competed, I had to represent that gym also. As another footnote, if you remember Nicole Bass, the world's strongest bodybuilder, the world's strongest woman, she was on always Howard Stern all the time. But she used to come to the gym 2 doors down. We'd be sitting out there eating pineapple and tuna fish out the can, me and my friend Mike Scott. And she walked up to us one day, didn't know nothing about bodybuilding, asking us about it. She eventually, that gym we were going into, there was a little drama going on. You know, Bob Fuchs was the owner. He was married, but she knocked him out the box, knocks her out the box. So now she's the wife now, taking all these steroids. I can't believe she would get on TV and just, I'm against drugs. And her voice got deep and she was huge and looking at me like I'm a shrimp now. I got stories to tell y'all. That's something. But you see, we look at this thing in amazement, and those of us who are suffering from Stockholm syndrome don't understand. They can't drop a bomb on all of us. They've tried with the drugs and dropping the guns in the neighborhoods. We can kill each, but we've survived it. We need to be living, but we're surviving to another day under all the stress. Not realizing that those people who want to set us up for annihilation, they're not going to do it. They're bringing somebody else in to do it. Over time. Over time. That's what it's all about. But we're popping our fingers, shucking and jiving, thinking that we're part of this. And it's a shame because we built the country. But we also can't forget that we're citizens of a planet, the original caretakers of this planet. But we feel we need to stay in this toxic, dysfunctional relationship with the people who are hell-bent on wiping us off the face of the earth because they owe us something. It's not in their nature to be just. They want to bring up everything else. Barack Obama came in and folks thought all kind of crazy stuff. I remember driving the bus and they came in, people talking, well, yeah, Barack Obama. They were jacking up his name before they really knew what it was. Obaka, Barama, Osaka. I'm like, dang, I should have wrote them down. He gonna wipe our credit clean. He ain't paying you no mind. I knew it from the very beginning. I didn't get caught up in all of that. I got some old audio saying just that too. I'm not against folks who call themselves Latino, but he catered to them in the real Rainbow Coalition. We ain't talking about Jesse Jackson stuff. And we sitting here looking stupid at the two terms because that's not the answer, y'all. It's our unity that's the answer, but we hell bent on not doing that because we're so messed up in the head. And for most of us, it's not going to happen. And I'm a very positive person. It's too long down the stretch. At what point you have a car that you love, you bought it brand new, you maintain it perfectly, but as it ages, it starts to bring you problems. There's a point where you say, you know what? I've invested so much into this, I can't anymore. We were tools. We were brought here. We were used. Brilliance came out of all of this, yes. The talents and abilities and the brilliant minds. But what do? We took all of that brilliance. And because we were chosen by those in that system, we felt we were accepted, but we were only chosen to be used. And when they're done with you, they're done chewing you up, they spit you out. Like that man who told the woman he loved her, kept telling, I love you. All he wanted was the goodies, the cookies. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We'll keep this decent. And when he got enough of what he wanted, he was gone, telling the next woman the same thing. But that's how they're using us. Nothing more, nothing less. And we're sitting around waiting, arguing with each other. All the different ways that we're split up, whether it's a political ideology, whether it's a religious stance, we're so split up and fighting over it too. And you know, when you dilute something, you render it less effective. And we're identifying with the categories, and it's okay to do so, but realize we have a common enemy and a common goal as a people. But we're separated right off the line. Then you inject the envy and the jealousy and all these other things. The status, like I always say, I'm from the north and you're from the south. I'm lighter and you're darker. I have a college education and you don't. I have more money than you and you don't have as much money than me. I have status on the job and you're just a worker. I'm an admin. I know the secret handshakes and the cold words. I'm a traveling man and I seek the light and you don't know what that means. No, I'm not saying I'm that. Let's get that straight. I'm Methodist and you're Baptist. I'm Catholic and you're Pentecostal. I'm old and you're young. I'm straight and you gay. We're the most split up people. And there's categories that we don't even realize. We look for reasons to hate each other and be divided. Or if you see something going good, they have some of us who go to these things that are rolling along good as agents, whether they're government funded or spiritually driven from negative energy, to go in there and FUCK it up. Don't want to see nothing go smooth. This is a reality. This is not negativity. This is a gut check. If you don't want to do a pre-flight on your vehicle, when you leave out, you'll be on the road at some point. Transmission fluid low, you didn't check it. Air in the tire low, you didn't check it. Oil in the engine low, you didn't check it. You driving on a long distance drive in a heat wave. And when your engine catches on fire, you're sitting on the side of the road looking stupid. You better assess the factors that are going on in the world around us, not in a gory way, but to salvage our sanity, to keep our minds right, to get rid of any negativity. To get rid of it, you better acknowledge it. Oh, the Lord gonna bring me through. The Lord gonna bring you through, okay. Are we waiting on the Lord? I'm not knocking nobody's religion. Come on, y'all. You see the Asians, they ain't waiting on nothing. They getting busy now. They plan for tomorrow, but they only understand that tomorrow's reality will be wonderful and great if you do what you must do today. Tomorrow come, you talk about tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. When Thursday come, you talk about Friday. When Friday come, you talk about Saturday. Why can't we talk about Wednesday on Wednesday? Janet Jackson song. What have you done for me lately? Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, yeah. What did you do today? I did so much today. I earned my sleep. So when I put my head on a pillow that is on now, I'm not going to fall asleep yet. After the show, I'm going straight to sleep because I wake up 4 o'clock in the morning every morning. I woke up 5:30 the other day and I panicked. I'm like, why did I wake up so late? When the sun is shining, it sees me all the time now. I had to correct that in my life. It used to be the other way around. People thought I was a vampire. I'm running away from the sun. I get all that sun. I'm waiting when sun peaks over the mountain. I'm right there waiting for it. You ready to do something for today, son? Fuel me. Feed me. Sun gone. I'm still up. Whatever it takes for us to get ourselves right. It's a final call. It's a final call. Because if you see how they're positioning these people, it's not right. I'm not hating nobody, but it's not right. Why the cops are harassing us and shooting us and tackling us and arresting us? We know we got to keep that system full of us. Have us like tag pigeons with records so we can't get an okay job. We have no choice anyway. We need to be doing the entrepreneurial thing. But to get on your feet, some may not have that lump sum of bank money or family to help them and support them. So you're going to have to get a job. Support yourself and go after your dreams. Be totally independent, but you can't do it when you're on Instagram or Facebook in a non-productive way. Pulling your mind away from what you need to be focused on. Injecting your mind with negative thoughts. When you see your sister and your brother and you despise them. Okay, let me see something here. Okay. Looks like things came back on. Let me try to find myself. It might happen again. You never know. At least I could end up a little better off than this is something. Yep. Those things happen temporarily and always comes back on. That was a long one. I'm talking about the power outage. I was rocking this. I was rocking all right. I cut all the lights out, so I'm not gonna show my face. I know I look sleepy and puffy now. I'm sitting in the darkness. Let me just plug something back in. But I like to I like the audio on my modules, my audio equipment. The phone is cool. When I start out a certain way, I like to, stay that way. Okay, good. Let me just hit this computer on. Uh-oh. think I got knocked off of Instagram. I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh, why? Let's see. Maybe it happened. All right. Apple computer. Okay, I think, yeah. I'm knocked off. Okay. Let's see something. I'll find out. Why are they changing everything into French? You know, sometimes you get online and say everything's Spanish, everything's French. I didn't ask for that. I got some messages here, so it might be them saying that I was knocked off. Why? Why is everything? If you're not down with Google Translate, get that app, because you can talk to people from other who speak other languages. You just type your stuff in and change it into the language. Boom. It might not be perfect, but that bad boy works. I'm talking to people from France. I'm talking to people from Spanish-speaking countries and Asian countries, getting down. Okay, let me restore this. Let's think about everything out. Yeah, but I see you here, Chance Rogers. Well, you know what they did? They probably didn't unsubscribe you from the channel. They just hijacked my channel, and I had to make another one. See? All right, let me see now what I missed. That's what it is. Chat room jumped. There was more chat room going on than I realized. Okay. Block this. Okay, now how am I coming back on here? Let me enter the studio. Check the settings. All right. Audio. Let's put it back. Who knows? I might make a little appearance before I go. Okay. Now which one is this? Uh-oh. Echoing. Bear with me, y'all. Feedback. All right. Now which one am I? Okay. I popped in here. Let me mute this person here. I'm on here 3 times. I can't figure out which is which. Let me just test something for a second. This is strange. Let me mute this and see. Let me see something again. I understand. You're going to hear an echo for a second. Stage, you should probably hear me right about now. Okay. Let's cut this phone down. I'm going to keep this phone on anyway. Still getting an echo. All right, that's good now. Enough where it doesn't bounce back, because I was going to wrap it down anyway. I think I'm knocked off of Instagram, but I have that posted, and I'm still hearing myself. You know what? I need to just come out of this completely on my phone. Good. It's going to fall off. I think you can still hear me. I hope so. How's the sound? Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? Just let me know. Give it a second. I think I'm all right now. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. I think I'm good. But like I said, it's right in front of our face. We don't see it. And also on a spiritual level, like I said before, these spiritual entities that feed off of us can only feed off of us. We're in our most decadent state. The love and unity vibration is nasty to them. They chew and they spit it out. They don't want that. They can't have us supporting each other. They can't have us
looking out for each other. Imagine, just think of all of your close friends and family who are on a higher vibration, because we can have close friends and family that are on a lower vibration. Most of us do. But imagine with those close family members and friends who you say to yourself, wow, because I was speaking to a close, I can't even say friend, he's like a brother now, been a brother for decades. He said, imagine, in our circle of friends who all know each other, who all basically speak with each other every day, imagine we had this one and that one and this one and that one in our own subdivision of our own. We can trust. And these are brothers and sisters that we can trust. Nothing would happen in that bad boy unless somebody's a fraud. And we've been tested. We've been battle tested with each other. So we know each other's personalities, our idiosyncrasies, everything. Thank you, Giant Gain. Thank you for that confirmation on the sound. But imagine the world and our community that way. Wouldn't that be heaven on earth? Nobody looking to get over on anybody, but if you do go to the supermarket and you know the person who owns it and you low on cash until you get your paycheck and on word, your word is good and their kindness is good, they say, go on and do all the shopping you want. Take hundreds of dollars worth of groceries and you do pay them back with a little extra. Like we just give love and give extra love on all levels. On the respect level, you ain't trying to hit on the next man's wife because you cool with the man. Ain't none of that going on. Imagine the world that we can live in, that we can control. We don't need a president to bring that into existence. No matter what they do, if we have each other and do right by each other and do right to ourselves, we'd have heaven on earth right now. But we're infected with the poisons they put in our mind. So we'll never have that victory of a fully vibrating, righteous community. Many of us, and I would say most of us, we're operating like those Christmas lights that have a short in it. You plug it in, you say, man, this thing didn't come on. You plug it in, and it's like, you start to pick it up, bing, flashes. Well, it works, it has a short. And lots of times, the short ain't working and we're shining bright and then it goes out again, causing chaos and confusion amongst us. We have no faith in us ever getting together. So when I say I'm giving up, I don't mean giving up on that. I mean giving up on the ones who have no interest in that, who have proven that you want to stay asleep. Then go on and stay asleep. I'm not hating on you. I can't rock with you though. And as I get chronologically older and older, those numbers dwindle because many people show their true colors. And they will do that. And you are not to feel hurt. You're not to be discouraged. Because for every door that's closed, there's another one that opens up. But you must be prepared to walk alone. Sometimes for just a time. Walk alone. Get used to that. And if they say in this lifetime, whatever amount of fingers they may say, you know, those old great grandmothers and grandmothers and mothers and just different people, you'll be able to count the amount of real friends you have on your hand with one hand, minus a couple of fingers. God, dog, you mean in your whole life, the real genuine people? Then we have people that we cool with that kind of burnt us in the past, but we keep them around for nostalgic purposes. We knew him too long. It's like, yeah, I know you're jacked up in this area. You won't have a chance to do that to me again. But we spent so much time together. I still like you. I know you're jacked up. I'm not going to give you a chance to screw me over like that. But I like you. We've known each other for 40 years, 50 years. Lancescurv, you old. You see what I mean? So it's very important to be motivated on a soul level and get our mind right. Because lots of times we're burnt, we're in shock, we lose momentum because of the emotional. And we're going to be emotional. Yes, it's okay to be that way. But be careful who you invest your emotions into. Because you might be loving on somebody who can't stand you. You might be loving on somebody who covertly sees you as an opportunity. They're using you. They smiling. Look, you meet a mate, opposite sex, you get with them and they just rocking your world. You know what I mean? And they're treating you right, or so it seems. And then you get a revelation. You're like, how could a person be so deceptive? Many of us, I know this may sound negative, but so many of us are like maggots out here. They see what they can get. And they coming around you, doing whatever it takes to unlock that door that's closed of trust. And here you go, opening it up. Like I've said before in other shows, in the Christian way, whenever the devil's in your life, it's because you went to the front door and let him right on in. You see what I mean? But then when you have somebody good, you don't screw them over. See? Because it works both ways. I'm not trying to paint the world as, but we got to stop dropping our guard because these people are so deceptive. And that will keep us from our victory. Whatever the victory is, whether you're pulling doubles on a job that doesn't pay much because you want to get that down payment for a home, whether you're sacrificing and staying away from the friends like to eat all kind of bad food and you're trying to get in shape. They going to bed, coming from the club, you getting up and get ready to go to the gym. And they calling you, talking about the good time that you missed. But years later, when they're in the hospital with different ailments, they understand why you made the sacrifices you did. Make up your mind and live your life for yourself. Take care of yourself, love yourself, go after your victories, and give of yourself when people have passed the credit check. You can't just give your energies away like this. There's too many buckets out here that look huge and have strong handles. And when you fill it up with the water of enthusiasm and ascension, you realize it's full of holes. You're filling it, you're pouring into these people, and it's not going anywhere because they got hell in them. Only invest in the proven products of your life. They may not entertain you as much. They may not have the bedazzling words and all of that stuff, the personality and charisma, but they'll be there with you rock solid to the end. And could you imagine the influx of these narcissistic entities in the world now? I know that I'm gonna pick on Instagram. We use these things as tools righteously, right? We use a knife and fork to eat. Most of us, many of us. It can also be a weapon if you jam that bad boy in somebody's eye. It becomes a weapon. They won't say to you in court, well, it was just a fork, so a fork is not a weapon, but you use it as a weapon. You going just like if you used a gun. The intent. See? So you got to give these people a credit check, an integrity check, and take your time. Treat them like a daggone the way the bank treats you with a secured credit card. You put your $500 up first, and we'll give you $500 worth of credit, but it's your money. We ain't taking no risk on you. And as you pay back and borrow and pay back on your money to prove to us, we ain't taking that risk. Okay. It's a $500 credit card. We'll add $200 onto that bad boy. So now you got 200 of ours and 500 of yours. And after a time when you prove yourself, you can get a full credit card and they give you your money back. You're right, Jackie. That's the truth. Because your energy and who you know you are, and as good a person as you know you are, you should not come cheap or come easy for anybody who's not proven. You owe it to yourself. What happened to loving yourself? I'm always there to help, but I can't forsake myself. I always say it before in other shows. You can't get your paycheck and tell the whole community, well, I'm going to be nice this week. I'm going to pay everybody's light bill. And you go home to darkness. What kind of mess is that? And I have to be honest and say it, many of the churches have us feeling this way. That to suffer is a good thing. Yeah, I say coming out of your comfort zone and being a little uncomfortable causes growth when done right. Don't come and tell me, well, you know, I listened to what you said, Scurv, and I have a size 10 shoe a foot, but I bought some size 9s and I was hurting all day. I was sacrificing and I was uncomfortable, so I know I'm going to get my blessing. You a fool if you think that. I'm talking about the sacrifice of things you want. Put it aside and go after doing something that will bring you better rewards in the future. And if there's somebody in your life trying to pull you away from that to keep your mind not right, victory is impossible in that case. That's why I put it in yellow letters so it can catch your eye. What is he being negative? I'm going to get my victory, but it's impossible when your mind isn't right. And there's so many different ways for our mind to be kept not right. How am I going to drive you around all day long whenever you want? But I didn't put any gas in, and you ain't put no gas in. You might not have the money for it. Hey, I got you. But don't keep calling me and expect me to do that. Especially when you need to put yourself in a uncomfortable zone, out of your comfort. You ride the bus, you ride the train, you take a cab until you get sick of it. And say, I'm going to save and get me a little vehicle. Emergencies happen, I tied you over for a time. I'll do it. I'm not going to say no after 2 times. I'll do it for 2-3 months. If it's righteous, if that's what you need. After a while, people don't want to come out of their comfort zone, but they want you to come out of yours for them. I don't feel like paying my light bill. Well, then stay in darkness. You picked the booger, you won't know where you wiped it because you in darkness. Now, that's nasty. You know, I'm full of jokes. If we want that victory continuously, we've got to make sacrifices. So if you're trying to get yourself healthier and eat healthier, why are you hanging around people who don't care about that stuff? They're going to try to tempt you and violate you because they're mad that you're trying anyway because you're showing them up. Come on, girl. Little cheesecake won't hurt. And you looking good. You looking better. You're going through the metamorphosis. You're going through the change. You're making the effort. You're seeing the results. And they're not. They don't care. It's okay. Don't care. But be happy by the way that you feel. There's so many victories out here. I just want you to decide what is the prominent victory that you seek. What are the sacrifices that you have to make to achieve that victory? Who are the people that you're going to have to kind of place in suspended animation? They can still be around you, but you must proclaim and you must say it to them. Listen, we cool, we good, but this is what I'm looking to do. And when we hang out, I'm going to be eating a certain way, or I'm trying to be on a straight and narrow for a time away from all these women. You know, the ones that like to play. So don't send me no porn, man. Don't tell me about I'm gonna hook you up. This chick is wild and she gonna rock you. No, I don't want that. I'm not no homo, but I need to come out of my comfort zone. Especially if that's your weakness. I'm not saying women are bad. I'm speaking as a man, and it's also the same for a woman speaking about men. But sometimes as men, and I'm gonna talk about that, we have to sacrifice. Because lots of times we fall into situations with some types of women that are not good for us. A lot of good women out here. 95% watch the Lancescurv show. right? I'm not saying these others are bad, but they could be weak too. They could keep you distracted. A good woman, a good mate, we're talking woman and man, it's a good thing. It makes you go over and above. But most are not like that. Ladies, how many times have you met a man that you were interested in and dated and got close, whichever? I'm not trying to get in your business, but you found out that this dude was a fraud. Maybe he had a great job, a great place and everything, but you found out he was a fraud in different areas. And you're like, man, I thought it was too good to be true. How many men have run across women that say, man, I can really build with this woman. She's really great. You're not being judgmental, but this is somebody you're connecting yourself with. And this is how your destiny is chosen by who you choose. You can't be so, I've been guilty of that. I don't even want y'all to know my track record from the 80s. Oh my God. Might as well put me in the jungle in Vietnam somewhere with one machete and try to chop down all the trees. That's how much soul ties I had to chop up out of my life. The soul ties. Oh, I was hurting. Had 2 machetes. Chopping with both hands for years. So you see the clearing a little bit. Get away from the new growth. But it's just like a boxer fighting who has a good judgment of distance. Like you said, Starseed, the right distance. They can try to knock you out. They can come with an amateuristic haymaker to knock you out, swinging. And you didn't see this blow coming because you ducked and you looked the other way for a second, and they swung and missed you by a half an inch. And it didn't knock you out. Ain't that something? It didn't knock you out because it didn't touch you. You don't have to miss it by 6 feet. So in closing, before I go, just imagine the disasters in our life that we never experienced because that disaster missed us by half an inch. I'm not saying a real measurement. All I'm trying to say, real close. I'm going to tell you one. There was a young lady I was very interested in, and I wasn't talking about like marriage or, back in those days, okay? I wasn't a predator. I was just like, and I was passive. I was a passive one who would put myself in your way and charm you, and you would share the cookies. I have a history. I was a young man once. Still am, but a lot wiser. And so we set up a date. There were 2 other couples who knew her. And they said, no, she's great. And so we hung out. I liked her. We hit it off. It was about 2 weeks that went by. And she invited me over. Now we know what that was all about. We didn't broadcast it or anything. And she was like, listen, you need to come and spend some time with me. I said, okay, no problem, whatever. So we had it all set up, the time, and let's be real now. You know we're going to eat breakfast together and spend the whole next day and probably the next day. I said, I know. Ain't no separate bedrooms on this time. Well, anyway, she had her friend, her monthly friend, showed up. And she had full intentions of whatever, trying to keep this decent. She also found out some news. You want to know what that was? She also found out that she was HIV positive. Sometimes that thing coming at you, you don't have to miss it by 6 feet when they throw that punch, even a 1/4 inch. I felt the wind off of that one. At least she was honest with me. And she told her friends. And they were looking at me like, Lance, you know, we kind of gave you the hookup and introduction, but oh my God. And I stayed friends with her, although we knew what wasn't going to happen. Old Scurv dodged a bullet. But that's one that I realized. And there were many other bullets on the same level that, not that I dodged them, but afterward, 3 and 4 years, and you know, so-and-so passed away with the monster. I was checking myself up left and right. I never caught any of those blows. Not even a STD. Not even a rash. Not even a crab. Sisters and brothers, I was out there. Really bad. I'm still trying to figure out why it was like that for me. Grew up in a loving home and all that stuff, but you know, things in your mind and whatever. I don't have low self-esteem. What was it? I kind of figured out. I'll do a conference call on that one day. But I understand myself more. You see, because sometimes when you go to the dealership to test drive that vehicle, going around the corner one time is not enough. Sometimes you have to take it away for a couple miles. So we all don't know and learn ourselves at the same pace. How many of us knew in school somebody who was just a straight up F up? Like, man, they just messing. They're not even out of school yet, and we know what direction they're taking. And you don't see them for a while, many years. And you're looking at them like, wow, you are really successful across the board, not just on a material level. And the attitude is different. You're like, listen, back in the day, you know, I would have never thought you would have ended up this way. And then you have some who you think are going to be, and they're not. I don't know if we're still connected to Instagram because I fell off on the computer. I don't want to mess around. If I'm still there, let it stay. But Gadsden Gallery, it's just nice to know that you're doing well. And how we go back to junior high school, 226, Virgil I. Grissom, junior high. And so many decades have passed. And to know that you are not only holding on, but doing very well. And that makes me feel real good. Big Doe, I don't know if you're still on. We worked together for several years in the jail. And it's nice to see that you have achieved what you want to achieve in this life. And you travel as much as you do. I want to travel just like you soon, brother. You've been traveling when we were working together. You worked it. I admire that. And many who I know here, right? Indigo King, keep working on that garden. All the folks here, keep working on the things that you want to do that bring joy to your heart, that help you go to your victories, the things that soothe you. There comes a point where there will be people around you that will try to make you feel bad for treating yourself good. No, never stop treating yourself good, great. They will call you selfish. Always help somebody in need, of course. But let it be somebody who's in need and not somebody who just doesn't want to leave their comfort zone. No, you need to put your boots to the ground. If you need to do road work, if you need to study, if you need to learn something, you can have your comfort zone. But for a time, take yourself 1/3 out of it, 25% out of it, 50% out of it. Now, you don't have to go kamikaze and go crazy and say, I'm going to just leave the comfort zone altogether. That's my personality. I like the whole boot camp mentality. You see what I mean? But certain things take time. Victory is impossible when your mind isn't right. And in this world with all this confusion and division, especially us as a people, our collective victory seems more and more distant. The best thing we can do for the collective is to get ourselves right. You all know that I have an older brother who for many decades was on all different types of drugs and was still out there doing it. The last time I saw him physically was 1998 by chance. And he looked well, and he always keeps himself well. But I say to myself, even before my mother passed away, and she knew for long that he was, broke her heart. I said, in this life, I promise you, if he comes around, I'll treat him right. But the best thing I can do for him is to keep myself right. Don't chase anybody when they don't want to defeat the demons that they have. You're only doing a disservice to yourself. I can tell you that from personal experience. Certain realities you may never know that you yearn for emotionally, with friends, with family, with people who you deem to be worthy. They might be going through something, but there comes a time where they're going to have to stand on their own 2 feet, and you can't empty your tank. You can't empty your tank for them and left stranded somewhere when they get out and walk. I loaned out a little bit of money, not much, to people who were in need, that professed that they were in need, but they weren't. So this is what happened the other day. I'm going to tell you a really funny story. Then I'm going to go. I've been saying that for a while, right? Well, I'm having some work being done. I won't say specifically, but certain things to be paid out. And so there's a delivery coming of something that had to be paid out. And I paid for it. I had the money, paid for it. I didn't know the guy was going to say, oh, there's a transportation fee. Transportation fee? I thought that was in the price. I'm not going to argue. I had a couple of CDs here, which, it's not dollars anymore, CDs. I said, okay, let me grab my CD. Let me grab my wallet. I looked. It was 120 CDs, which if you go by $1 for 12.95, I always round it off in 10 still. But I had 110 and I had 10 CDs crumbled up on the windowsill. So I had there's about 120. I got money in my pocket from the other day and in my knapsack. I got that. I gave them the 120 CDs. It was early. The other workers were here. They wanted to control outside. I said, let me lay down a little bit. And then I had to, the next day, have more money for another delivery, which means I had to go out that night. Well, yeah, because I had to be here with the workers, right? So after they leave at 3:30 or 4, because they come in from the crack of dawn, I said, okay, I'll hit the bank. But the amount that I had to get was bigger than the limits of what was in the local bank. So I had to go all the way down into Accra, right, on the van to get, because their limits were higher and I needed that higher limit. There's little local banks in this little village. Ain't no big transactions going on like that. And so I looked at my knapsack and said, okay, let me see how much I already have here. I didn't see anything. I saw 50 pesos. That's what they say. I think I'm saying it right, which is like 50 cents. Then I looked in my other pants pocket. I didn't see anything. I was like, yo, I don't have no cash in the house and I got to go to the bank. How am I going to pay for the van? I have money in the bank, but I'm in the mountains. So every couch cushion, everything under the bed, everything, I came up with 5 CDs plus a few extra that didn't add up to 6. How am I going to go there? I said, okay, maybe I can cash out my mobile money. And I did. It gave me enough fare to go and come back. Now, when I went to go to the bank, I said, okay, I'm going to check the closest ATM in the city. If this one says we have no cash, I'm going to have to go to the next one further out. And if they say it, I'm screwed with nothing, far away from home. Luckily, the first one in Accra had it. I said, let me get my butt on home. So I hopped on the van, got on home, walking on the middle floor. cut the light on, and saw 150 CDs that fell off the table on the floor. I had the money to get back and forth. I didn't have to fret. But sometimes you think negative of a situation or feel there's no way out, and the way out is right there. I've mentioned it before. What about that man whose wife left him for his best friend? This years ago. Got fired off his job. Found out that his child had a terminal illness. He was through. He killed himself. A shot to the head in his bedroom, left a note. Poor daughter. That was very selfish of him. But what he didn't know, that he had the winning lottery ticket in his pocket for several million. Now, I'm not talking about no 5 and 6. Like, it's 100. So we can't lose sight of how life can be sometimes. You're going to face disappointments. You're going to face these things, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to have the victory. Come out of your comfort zone and put the work in. There are things that are going to happen. But if you build your character enough, your resiliency, your integrity, even the things that happen negative help to build you up. Doors that close open other doors. As in my case, which I can't reveal right now. I know this to be true. And when it's like that, and you accept the things that happen and overcome them with the resiliency, your victory is not impossible. See? Yes, Kofi from Easton. Yes. It is a distance. It's not walking distance. Heck, I had to be in shape on my bike. If I had to up in the mountains, going up and down and up and down. And then when you get past, where is it there? Katasi. As soon as you get past Katasi and you start to hit, man, it's so beautiful. It's like you're landing from a plane. And over there is lower than where I am. And it's still them lights. It's like when you're landing in the city at night, you're looking over. I've captured it on video and posted it up different places, but it's nothing like seeing that. So never give up, because the answer is always there. The way out, I don't like to use the word problem, but I'll say it. I say challenge. There's no problem that doesn't have a solution. Every problem has a solution. You just might not know it yet. But don't let the fact that there is an illusion of being defeated keep you from your victory. I'm going to always get a victory. At this point in my life, I've been through so much. I've been through a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything. That girl had HIV, man. And we had that hot date. And her friend came around, the monthly friend. That would have been a hook, line, and sinker. It was like 2 cats and he, I like you. I'm coming over. Yeah, life. There's always a lesson to learn every day, whether it's something that you learn or something that, personally, or something that you learn through somebody else. See what I mean? I'm yapping. I'm going to hit the sack. It's 9:06. I'm getting up in 7 hours, a little less than 7 hours. Maybe I sleep till 5, get 8 hours of sleep. I'm thirsty. Drink a little something. Water, not liquor. And go on and get some sleep. But anyway, thank you all very much for being here. I will be coming on back tomorrow. I try to make it a little earlier, but I do have things here to do, but it will be done. And we're back. But then again, I never left. So thank you so much. Hit me up on Lancescurv.com. And I'm sorry, the ZELLE. The ZELLE at the bottom is still Scurv Media, so that could be used. But other than that, don't use that email address for anything. Much love to you all. Lancescurv out. Take care. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you so much.
Make sure to go to Lancescurv.com, an online magazine established in 2001, containing written articles, thousands of talk shows and discussions, cutting-edge cartoons, as well as erotic expressions and tasteful adult photography. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. Once you get a taste of the world of Lancescurv, trust me, you'll be back for more. Lancescurv.com. Bold, raw, and uncut.